What's going on, guys? I hope everybody's doing well. I have a couple topics that I want to talk about tonight, but they're kind of all over the place, so I don't know if they're going to tie together super well. I'm going to do my best to try to make them do so, but no promises. So I want to go ahead and start with talking about how you are a product of your environment, but even more so than that, you are a product of your own choices. That is exactly what creates and distinguishes your reality, is what you choose. You are a product of your environment when it goes to the fact of how you're raised, the environment you're raised in, the people you're surrounded by, the friend groups you have. All of these things can, persuade you to become a certain type of individual. But the only thing that will affect your reality is choices. You are inevitably made up of your choices, of your decisions. That is who you are. That is the only thing that people can go off of. That is everyone's reality, including yourself, is just a basis of your decisions. So I've been talking about this a lot lately, is just small wins every single day are what lead to having a substantial and a fulfilling life. And another way to look at that is your choices. Whenever you are met with a decision between good and evil, which it could be something as small as, taking the time to not scroll on your phone whenever you're taking a shit, which, I think that that's okay to do every now and then. But, just doing something that, like, sometimes I brush my teeth and I literally look at my phone. I can't go without having that stimulus. And instead of doing that, just taking the moment to not watch YouTube while I eat dinner, not watch TV while I do this or that. Like those small wins are what can equate to small decisions leading to a good and fulfilling reality that you want to live, and becoming a better person by doing these small things. And the way that I was able to tie that in, which kind of ended up working out, is the second point, is constant stimulation ends up drowning out your reflection. And what I mean by that is kind of the same thing I was just saying. You can't really ever figure out who you are as a person. You can't truly question things. You can't truly understand what your own thought process is, or distinguish between if you're being persuaded into thinking a certain way or if that's actually how you believe, if you don't give yourself the time to sit and reflect with your own thoughts and reflect with God and truly decide how you feel about a certain topic or how you want to live life or discern what things mean towards you. And the same thing I was saying with whatever you're doing, take the time to drive to work or drive to the gym without any music and just, sit with your own thoughts and don't be uncomfortable. And we've all been programmed to have, to be on our phones and have these dopamine hits. And we need the constant stimulation in order to survive. We think that it's something we need, and it's become a necessity for a lot of our lives, including myself, especially with me, posting content more often here recently, and it's doing really well. I'm very, very attached to the outcome, and I'm constantly checking my phone more so than I did before. And I'm trying to, negate myself from doing that as often, and it's something that I struggle with. But I wouldn't be able to reflect and see that I am struggling with that if I didn't take the moment to sit aside sometimes and get off my phone whenever I have the opportunity to sit and have dinner by myself instead of having to watch a show, instead of having to watch YouTube. Just sit in your own thoughts every now and then. I don't think that you need to be constantly in your own thoughts, but I know there's a time and place, like maybe taking a dump, you can sit on your phone and scroll a little bit and have that release, but physically and mentally have that release. But I think, it's important to do that, but I think it's also as important, if not more, to give yourself the time to actually reflect and see how you feel about topics you might not feel as strongly one way or another. So with those two things being said, get off your phone. We're programmed to be on it. You don't need that stimulus. And if you're a product of your environment, you are more so a product of your choices, because your choices are the only thing that equate to your reality. If your environment is negative to you, then you have to change your environment and make that choice and that decision to step away from that environment that is you are surrounded by, whether that's a friend group or a literal environment, a situation, family, friends, whatever. You need to make the decision to do what is right for yourself and what will lead to ultimately you growing closer to God and becoming a better person. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and have a blessed one.